Chat about human trafficking in Florida. Well, if you don't know, Florida is one of the top 5 for human trafficking. And human trafficking is a problem. It's the biggest problem in Florida. Let's see. I'm going to pull up the ranking of it. It should tell me here. And you have to be careful anywhere you are. But Florida is one of the top states for human trafficking. And it has been that way for, I think, years now. And you should not be afraid to be living anywhere you want to live, because God is with you. If you believe God is with you, He is. And this is a story about how I felt in my spirit that someone was a human trafficker around me. Once upon a recent time, like last year, and this guy, he moved out, and he was very creepy for sure. Well, I was in a roommate situation, and I was living with roommates, and I did not pick the roommates myself, because typically you don't get to pick your roommates. So I didn't pick my roommate, of course. And so I know you see a Jeffrey Epstein here. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but like I was saying, so this guy, he reminded me of Tay Diggs. Like, if you've seen Tay Diggs before, he looks just like that, except this guy's Haitian. I know nothing about Haitian people, Haitian culture. So, and honestly, I didn't want to learn about it either. Because when you are living with people and you're attractive, I would rather just stick with who I know. Stick with people I'm already comfortable with, or a culture that's already familiar. I'm moving this cup. But anyways, so, no one wants to learn about new culture with a roommate. I don't. I didn't sign up for this, He looked just like this, for sure, in person. I'm not a Tay Diggs fan. And, he was very into me. That's typical for really black guys across, any race guys across the globe like me. I noticed, you know who likes you. In your head, you live in your body, you know who is into your look. A little bit of everyone's into my look. And I had a feeling I wasn't going to like him after I met him. And just so you know, human traffickers, they can have any kind of job. They can have a main, real job. And then on the side, they traffic women as like a hobby instead of golfing. It's funny, but not, And so he had a regular job. As far as I know, I think he's a healthcare worker. And that sounds believable when he said that. But that does not mean you don't traffic as a hobby. Because men who don't earn enough as they want to earn, they get into trafficking. And it's sad because they pick you to help them earn. It's sad. It's unfair. And so he was bothering me. He started off friendly, and then he kept trying to get me to be behind a closed door with him. Like and he had this like African sounding accent, even though he spoke Haitian language. And he said, "Give me," you know how they pronounce the Jamaican or African accent. He kept saying, "Give me the code. Give me the door code. I want the door code to your room." Or, you know, that's how he talks. And I said no. And he was like, "Give me the code. I want the code." And he kept asking. And he's got a pretty creepy voice for me. And so, but I'm not the most scared type of person, so slightly scared of him I was. And I told my Latino friends, some of them offered to come over right away in person to my house during the time and talk to him. And they did. Nobody is even afraid of him. And they confronted him. They were like, well, she's with us, you know. So it was crazy. But I was glad that they talked to him for me, because he was like so aggressive, and he was so, what's the word? He was so nonstop trying to come after me. That's aggressive. And he just kept asking, like day after day, "Give me the code to your room. I want the code. Give me the code." And I said, "No, you can't have the code to my room. You have absolutely no reason to have the code to my room. It's my bedroom, and it's a huge bedroom with a walk-in shower, you know, walk-in closet, and everything else in here. But he's got absolutely no reason to have my private door code." I didn't know him at all, and he was that crazy. That's aggressive to ask for somebody's door code, because in Florida, you have a number that you enter in your door code, and you enter your door after you put that number in. So I would have never been able to sleep if I had given him the code, for sure. So I didn't give him the code. And some nights I pushed something against the door, but no, I wasn't that scared. I wasn't scared enough to just put something against it every night. But I told my friends, my Latino community friends, and they supported me. You know, they were intimidating to him. They have guns. You know, I really prefer the guys to have the guns, but like if I have to have one, fine. You know, I don't mind having one too, but because you might need one in any state, I guess, but maybe more so in Florida. I don't know. I haven't lived in Florida for long. Seems like you might need one. Anyways, he was very on me, complimenting me, telling me how I looked Indian to him, but how I reminded him of Latino women too. And I didn't ask, you know, just talking too much. You talking way too much, can't shut up. And so, he was just on me, on my case. And I didn't like that. So, if you don't want to go missing in Florida like a lot of women have gone, you have to be more cautious. And during hurricane season, too, you have to be paranoid, because women go missing. Women are more likely to go missing. Men can be trafficked too, but it's more rare. But if a girl goes missing, human traffickers, they really like hurricane season because it looks like you just died in a hurricane. They can say, oh, she's dead, she died in a hurricane, and you are still alive and you're being pimped out somewhere in this world where they took you to a second location, and they take you to multiple locations. They could take you to a place where you don't, a lot of times they take you to a place where you can't even speak the language. And there's no way you can survive. There's no way you can get out because you can't. They take you to a private island because there's no one that would save you. There's no one that speaks your language in a foreign country that they take you to if they do that, if that's a choice. There's no one to flag down on a private island. It's their whole island. And these men, some of these men are rich. This Haitian guy, no, he was not rich. He's a roommate. But he was trying to get rich off human trafficking. I feel like he was a trafficker. And I had to push him off of me. And he did not. I'm glad he did not rape me, but he did try to grab me. And I'm not that strong, you know. But I was able to push him off of me. Like in the kitchen. Or, near the kitchen, then closer to the hallway. And, just, why does he need to be like that? I don't know, but, I don't know anything about Haitian people and their culture. But I did not end up reporting him because the laws in Florida say something like, I read it by one of the older white women I know. She's like, you should report that. You should report that. I told her what happened. She's like, report it right now. It might be too late by laws of Florida. You have a limited amount of time to report it. You only have I don't know. Haven't been here for long, but I think you have 15 days or 30 days or something like that. I can't remember what it was. I looked at it and it was past the amount of days. And so he's on the loose, and I'm not going to go after him. I just I can move forward now, He moved out. I moved out, so he doesn't know where I live for my safety. But I probably would have still been safe. I feel like would still be safe if I was there, because the Latino community is very supportive of me and protective of me. And as soon as I told my Latino guy friend, he's got naturally straight hair, and it's down to his lower back, grown long. He drove over immediately. I was laughing because he's Christian, and so he actually offered me to come to his place. He's like, you can sleep in one of my room, in one of the separate rooms for me, for your safety, so you don't go missing. He was concerned I would go missing. But he drove right over. He talked to the guy, and that was nice. I like how he wasn't afraid of anyone. So he's funny like that. And he's got kind of he's like an edgy looking Latino guy, I know some edgy looking Latino guys. None of them are scary. I like the Latin community. Kept me from being abducted by this Haitian guy. But some of the stuff he said to me, he was sexually harassing me. And it was like day after day. It was so uncomfortable with him. He wanted the private code to my room, which is only for you or your husband or your boyfriend, No reason why he should have felt comfortable enough to ask me, because I was not flirting with him at all. And so he wanted that, and then he would make comments like, I would love to see you cook naked. You would never see me cook naked because I don't even like you. We're not in a relationship, nothing. And I've never even thought of him like that. But in Florida, the Haitians and the foreign Africans, you do you. I'm going to do what works for me. The Haitians and the foreign Africans don't work for me. I need them out of my personal space. It's uncomfortable. They can never live in the same area as me. Not even in the same. And I was in a house with him, beautiful big house. Where you and people pay for their room, share room type of thing. And it was crazy. But just warning you from my experience, you need to live with people that you feel comfortable with. And so I prefer the foreign Africans and the Haitians. They need to live together. They probably are best friends with each other. I don't know. But keep me out of it because it was very uncomfortable for me. And sometimes, like, let's say your other roommates are out of town, because that can happen. And it was about I think it was a week where I was alone with this guy in the same house. And the other roommates were out of town. Yeah, I had some anxiety about that one. And I felt anxious. I felt kind of scared. And I told the cops, I'm not going to even lie. I did tell the cops that I'm my address. And I said, I'm scared here. Can you just take note that I'm scared here? I'm alone with this guy. And I don't want to go missing, is what I explained to them what was going on. I didn't give his name at the time because I didn't need to. But he is just this Haitian guy. He was like saying inappropriate things to me. He's like, you are just stuff I think that a human trafficker would actually say. He said, you are in high demand, in his accent. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you're in high demand. I knew what he meant. He said, you're in high demand with men. Oh, so you're sizing me up. He was like grooming me in his mind. Yeah, you're in high demand. Everybody needs you. Everybody wants you. I'm a perfect candidate for him, And he offered me drinks. I don't drink. I don't drink regularly, but occasionally I may taste something like red wine or beer or something like that if I feel like it. But I don't buy alcohol because I don't drink. If I drink, it's because somebody in my family had something. If one of my relatives, they had some red wine or something, or beer mixed with juice, pear juice, peach juice. There's a lot of different mixes that are good. I tried strawberry vodka too. This one Indian guy had some. But if I drink from a guy, if a guy makes me a drink, which I never asked this Haitian guy to make me a drink. That's so suspect. That's sus, You start making me beverages like that. And I didn't even ask you to make me nothing. like, why are you making me drinks like that? It makes no sense. And that's him. He was making me alcoholic beverages like that. And I never drank anything. I pour it right out in the sink. Because you could easily drug me and spike. And so you could spike me and put me in a truck and take me to that second location. And so that week when I was alone with him, he did start making me a drink. I never asked for nothing. I don't want anything from him. I had my own food. I have my own everything. I had tons of food, tons of juice, drinks, anything, Pepsi, Sprite, water, coconut water, Gatorade, whatever. I don't need anything from him. He started on his own making me an alcoholic drink when me and him were alone. And that's when I called the cops. And I was like, they're like, we can come right over. I said, okay, you can come, but like maybe you come in the morning when I'm here by myself. They were like, okay, that's fine. So some cop came, and a white male cop came, and I spoke to me. He's like, hey, sweetheart. So it was just so I could report to them what was going on, and how I felt uncomfortable there. And told them temporarily I would be alone with him. And they're like, just try to keep to yourself for now. And I would hang out mostly in my room by myself. And a few times he came to knock on the door. He's a total stranger. Knocking on the door, he's like, hey, I want to talk to you. Come out. Come on, I want to talk to you. And I ignore him. And I was thinking in my mind, like, he is so forward to come knocking on my door like that. I'm a stranger, you know? And so I'm glad I didn't end up missing. I called my Latino friends. They came over right away. They're like, you let me know what you want to do. I can even, they're like, I can sleep. I can stay here overnight if you want. I can just sleep over here on this other, bed you got, whatever. And I was like, okay, that sounds good. You're in here with me. I need a male presence for sure. And so it's fine. And he left me alone a lot more when I was having, my Latino guy friend over. And I was glad he didn't abduct me, because that's what happens in Florida. A lot of women get drugged through a drink. The drink is probably the easiest for them to access. A drink and drug you that way. And then what they do is they take you to the garage where their car is, and they put you in there, and the rest is history. You're missing, And he looks all like a criminal right there. So, wherever this guy is now, I bet he's on to another woman, And I have his contact in my phone, but I barely remember his name like that. It's in my phone if I look, but I haven't looked like that. It's too late to report him, so. And then this white guy, Jeffrey Epstein, he reminds me of this white male that I know in Florida who introduced himself to me. He's got his own private island and private jet. He's loaded, literally loaded. He's like, anything you want, baby. Even if you want your own child, I'll give you that. He's too old for this shit. He's like 60-something. Old enough to be your father. Trying to talk to me. And he invited me on his private island. Using his private jet. Me and him. And I think you would never see me again for sure if I went on that. Can't be trusted, Some of these guys can't be trusted. Especially when you're a rich white male. I have the hiccups a little bit. So when you're a rich white man, you have ultimate privilege. You can make our lives a living hell. And nothing would be done about it, Like, they get away with more when you're a white criminal. How long had he been sex trafficking these women to his island, Jeffrey Epstein? For years, maybe even decades. I don't know. I'll have to look it up on Google. To see exactly. They're going to tell you. But he's been doing it for too long because he's white and he gets away with it for longer. And if you have I've never been trafficked before, of course, never. But if you have a white trafficker, you are stuck and you are missing for a long time because white men get that benefit of the doubt. They always get excused for everything. He's a good guy. He's not a bad person. He doesn't look like a criminal. He's a nice man, is what they say. And they said the same thing about a lot of people's killers, So, you're stuck with that. If they want to go there and say that, some other race criminals are really nice people too, like Indian criminals from India. They're nice sometimes. Well, I never met a bad one. Some black criminals are totally nice and polite, but they killed somebody, They just didn't kill you. And, like you don't have to be that scared of everybody, when you have intuition. And I felt the black guy that I was living with. I didn't feel like he was a serial killer. I didn't feel like he was bold enough to actually kill anyone. But I could see him being a rapist and a human trafficker. Like, taking it to his advantage. But no, he would never hurt anyone himself physically. I don't think. Unless he was like in privacy, I could see him doing it. Like, let's say if a woman was captive under him and he had her, of course he's going to hurt her then, But I can't see him actually killing her, is what I'm saying. He would torture her. But, around the time when I had met this guy, because he introduced me to himself, that is when I kept having these, like, spiritual experiences. I would lay down in my bed, and I could feel multiple white men on me. I knew how they looked, but no, it was a spiritual experience, because God does this thing with me where if I'm talking to someone new, he will let me meet them before I meet them in human flesh. So I knew who he was. So I know who you are before I meet you. And tons of stuff about you. And so I was having that experience with this white guy, in the spirit first. I was laying on my bed and I could feel these men on me. I could see how they looked, but they weren't flesh and blood yet. And they were raping me. They were on me. They were taking turns, I was nothing to them but a source of pleasure. And God was trying to warn me not to meet up this guy, because I was ready to meet him up because he seemed so friendly. In my mind, I was pretty much ready to meet him. God was warning me not to. I did not get the green light from God to meet him, so I didn't meet him. And I didn't go on his private island or anything because of what God showed me. But in my spirit, I get better energy from like Greek men from Greece. I like the Greek community. I feel more at ease and peaceful around them. I trust them more. They bring me food. I don't ask for food, but people just bring it, of course. And drinks. I drink and eat from Greek men only, not from white American rich men who have all this power and privilege and could kill me and get away with it. or traffic me and get away with, they get away with too much, And it doesn't even matter. He had him, of course, Jeffrey Epstein had a main regular job. That's never enough. They have to traffic to a lot of these guys. And the same white guy, he's giving me gifts like without me asking. He's like, "When's your birthday? I want to get you Christmas gifts." Sending like $2,000 to me is nothing to him. So he sent me electronic money on his own. In the past, of course. Very impressive house, of course. He's got an indoors pool. And I prefer the pools that are like on the porch, but with the pool covering. But his indoor pool his whole house is impressive, of course. He's got his own golf court, and he's got his own golf company and more. But you have to be more careful during hurricane season, of course, and just in general. But when it comes to roommates, you go with the people that you feel more at ease living with, Not people who give you anxiety and scare you. Not these, Not the Haitian, not the foreign Africans. Mixed race black guys are better, They are not so scary like that. Mixed race black guys. And some African American guys are totally safe, I don't really care for the ones who are from Florida, though. The black people who are from Florida are kind of, I don't know why they're kind of rough or something. It's like they're criminals or something. Maybe the ones who were born in Florida, maybe something happened and they had a rough life or something. I don't really know what happened to them. But there's black people all over the globe. You don't have to limit yourself to black people in Florida. So far in Florida, I have not met any black people who are native to Florida. Because a native Florida black people, a black guy actually told me, different black guy, he said, don't let yourself be around black people who are native to Florida. They're dangerous. So he warned me. I wouldn't know. He's been in Florida longer than me. So I take his advice and I don't hang around any native Florida black people. There's black people all over the globe. You don't have to be desperate. And there's the black people all over the world come to Florida and they may tell you, I'm from this state, and you feel relieved to hear that they're not from Florida based on what a black guy told me. He's like, stay away from those. It can be very dangerous. So I take his advice, and I feel relieved when I hear that a black guy is not from Florida. Because black guys who are native, black guys all over the world, they're too friendly. And the black guys who are native to Florida are too friendly online. They've messaged me and say, hey, I want to be friends and stuff. you know they're probably a human trafficker. I mean, you can't mix poverty with a black guy. In many cases, when a black guy is poor, he's trying to make you his source of income. He's targeting you. And so a lot of the native Florida black people don't have money. And so if they don't have money, that's more likely, that gives them more reason to target you as an income source and put you into forced labor for the first time when you've never had that as a problem. So you stay away from them. There's too many black people in this world to be that desperate for the native ones, So the black people I know right now, they are not native to Florida. No. And they're great. I like their energy. I like their awesome energy. Mixed race black guys are some of the best guys. Best energy. Some full black guys too, who were born and raised in Georgia. That's the type of guys you can trust more. Born in Georgia, not born in Florida. Yes, when they're born in Florida, I don't know what it is, but they are so ghetto and scary. And the Georgia black guy I know, he's like, people born in Florida, black people born in Florida are crazy. Stay away from them. He warned me. It's like, I can't trust them around you. He doesn't trust them around me. If you don't trust them around me, fine. I don't trust them around me either. Because Georgia black people, they seem better. Like they have Georgia values or something. Or something about them is better than Florida black natives. And there was even this one, just different online black guy, different guy who said to me that he needed a place to live. He targeted me. They should not target me. I don't know you at all. He messaged me saying he's been living in a hotel, and he told me that he had all these different weapons. He had a bunch of weird weapons too. A gun, a bat, a chain to tie, stuff that he shouldn't have. And he was native to Florida, black guy. He felt like he could trust me like that. I don't know why he felt like he could trust me that way. I didn't trust him like that. And so he said he had a chain, a baseball bat. He just had everything, And no, I never gave him my address, nothing. In fact, to be on the safe side, I pretended for him, I just was not on his radar at all. I didn't meet him up. He went to meet up and everything. He was so creepy. And when a Latino guy has a weapon, he usually has one weapon, and it's for safety. If a Mexican guy too, has a gun, you don't have to feel like he's gonna kill you. But when a native black guy to Florida has a weapon and he's born in Florida, that for me, I don't like that. And this native black guy, he's got a collection of weapons, chains, and stuff that mouth covers. He mentioned everything. You can't look like me and feel comfortable around stuff like that. Or not just me, but my friends are beautiful too. And you can't casually have chains and bats, baseball bats and all this Shit, you could mess somebody up. You could abduct any of us. We don't need that. And different kinds of women get abducted in the human trafficking all the time. Different age groups. Even women who've been married with kids, I've heard that. So you have to be careful.